Okay, Google, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Sure, 10 minutes. And we're starting now.
Today is day 47 of consistency, August 24th. I weighed in at 273.8. Tomorrow will be my weekly overview, and my goal was 273. If I'm being honest, we're gonna maybe take the points and all that other stuff. I think I will keep it and it will still be in the written text, but for the weekly overview, just for math's sake, I might just round. Obviously, 273.8 is closer to 274. So if it's like closer, I would say if it's like point 0.5, I'm just gonna round down, even though in math sense you would usually round up. But if it's like point 0.7 up, we'll just go ahead and round up. So just because, within a day, just depending on what you're eating or how much sodium you've had or how much water you had, your weight can fluctuate. It has nothing to do with that. So today we're doing a little better on on my Apple Watch. It's keeping up with me. Also, I offloaded all my Brazil pics off of my phone. I think it was like 900 pictures and videos all together. So I'm gonna have a lot more space, which is gonna allow me to make more content and have more creative content and put more overlays. But this is going to be a continuation of what I was talking about yesterday, which was pretty privilege. Um, I will have the name of the lady whose video I watched. I'll make sure to put that in the overlay. Um, and just a heads up, I've been very good about posting it online, but more than likely today I will be posting it later. So it's gonna upload like it's August 25th, maybe, just depending on how I upload it. I might upload it and change the description later or do whatever I need to just give myself more time. But just wanted to warn there. But yeah, I'm gonna put her name here. Um, and if I hadn't before, wherever I put in the video, and she was talking about how she doesn't have pretty privilege, and she had made this video a long time ago, and in the video got a lot of backlash about people just saying, you need to try more, you need to do this, you need to like put in a little bit more. And she gave herself an experiment where she was just like, I will do that, I will go. And she had different tests. She would go and her tests were what she felt like she could get from men. And more than anything, her pretty privilege had a lot to do with about the opposite sex. And I guess the adverse reactions from the same sex, um like just having both ends of those coins, like the pretty privilege and the pretty burden. But yeah, she went also out in public to see if she could attract people in public. She compared herself to other people who were pretty, so put herself in groups. Just did a lot of things just based on her knowledge of understanding other people who've had that privilege. And so, based on my understanding, what I think pretty privilege is and what I've heard about it and just the ethos of it, like I believe pretty privilege is somebody who gets benefits from their physical appearance, whether that's money, whether that's just being in spaces, whether that's a platform, whether that's more access to these things in lives, people just being nice to them. And yeah, I would say nicer than other people, just going out of their way to just help that person and make themselves accessible to that person. And yeah, I also think it's entrance into spaces, whether that's social spaces or just being in physical spaces where you want to be seen with that person. And just being seen allows you to be seen by other people. That allows you just more access to more like visibility to new careers, whatever that, what have you, whether that's sales, whether it's modeling, whether it's, you know what I mean, even things like a lawyer. Those things, being pretty can definitely get you, depending on regardless of your gender, can get you in many places. So that's one. And I would say um, an ease of dating. That is definitely the obvious like thing of pretty privilege. You have choices, you have options, and I feel like things, and I'm gonna go and talk on the other end what like pretty privilege is not, which I think we kind of need to understand, because there are people where I'm just like, I feel like we have to kind of see there are different levels of pretty privilege, I feel like. And I feel like what I feel like it's not simple kindness or though I've heard, and let's be real, it's the truth that if men don't find you attractive, sometimes they won't even look at or they won't even interact with you. Um, and though this isn't always the case, obviously with every man, like there's men that are just nice and they talk to their grandma, they have sisters, so they understand communication with women. But sorry, I take my shoes off; they hurt me. But yeah, more than anything, pretty privilege is not someone just being kind to you, or just doing like small kind gestures. I will say going out of their way, like to open the door, just depending when you are. I live in the South, so I feel like most people do that anyway, but I definitely have noticed a difference since like working on my body. Like people rushing to open the door, making sure they do that, as opposed to just being like, one hand open, but I still don't think that is pretty. I feel like that's just okay. Now you're in some level of attraction. They also don't think pure sexual attraction is pretty privilege. Like, and I'll explain it a little bit more just based on my experience. But like, just because someone is sexually attracted to you or finds you sexy doesn't mean that, or is can enter places because of just how sexually attractive they are doesn't necessarily, I think, equate to pretty privilege. I also do think pretty privilege has this privilege of being non-reciprocal on the person who is the prettier or holds like the hierarchy of prettiness. They don't have to reciprocate a lot of things. A lot of it, they get benefits, like that is their exchange, just being them, just being beautiful. Whereas, if you feel like you still have to have a need to give something or give a part of yourself, I feel like those are just that's not. So just want to have a clear distinction of at least what I think it is. My next thing is, do I have it? Do I have it? Do it in my experience? I don't think I do. I feel like I have experienced it. Like I said, I feel like I experienced both ends. I know for a fact, I would say to an extent. That's what I wrote on here. I'm like, do I have it to an extent? I know for a fact I've gotten jobs because of how I've looked. You know what I mean? Like I've had people that were attracted to me, though it never went that. But I know for a fact that I gotten jobs because of how I've looked. I know for a fact I have gotten away with things because of the way I've looked, even with police. You know what I mean? Like I know that I have gotten things, easier, been able to ask for things like going out and be like, can I get, you know what I mean? Can I get this, please? I know, like, and I also can tell when someone's obviously attracted to me and I feel like I can do that. So it's just like, that is a privilege. Let's not lie. I also want to, like, let's not stunt and forget, like, I think I have a really good personality. I'm very charming. I'm very quick witted. I'm funny, so I feel like that will warm people up anyway. And I feel like that's probably also why I don't think I face the other end, which would be the spectrum that I feel like people say that they get from women. Because for me, I feel like I'm like, one, a little gay, not a little gay. I like girls, and so I'm like gonna be nice to girls because I'm just like cute, you know what I mean? And I do try and like, just interact with the ladies. I love the lady. I love women. Uh, we're just so cute. Um, but yeah, I just feel like that my personality has a big part to it. But like, and this video might get a little longer than the 10 minutes I had put in time, but like, which it will probably take long to upload, and but yeah, then I'm like, I also have not experienced the dating part. I've also not experienced my personal need to feel that I don't have to reciprocate. I do feel I've had times in the past where I'm like, I'm growing out of that, but I've always felt the need that I had to give more than what I was getting because I was told. And okay, Google, cancel timer.
All right, the timer is canceled.
I just don't want to interrupt because I was told, by my mom and by my parents that like being fat was going to be very hard for me to find a partner. I was told that my entire life. And so how much of it, and like this is where I'm just kind of like, how much of it is me? Because let's not play like big girls get play, big girls get dudes all the time. How much is me internalizing what has been told to me my entire life, that I had to be out of this body to do that? And the sad thing is, like, there's a part of me that still truly does believe that, and I don't know if that will ever go away, even though I've seen other examples that it's not true. Like, I've just, in my experience with dating, not have I've not had a good experience. Like, I've not had that, obviously, that need to reciprocate. I've not had people wanting to ask, and that's where I'm just like, I feel like I'm very good at pulling people for bodily pleasures, but when it comes to dating and seriousness, I haven't been able to do that, and it's just like, that is something that I do obviously crave. So it's just kind of like, I don't, and not only that, I'm just like, because I feel the need to reciprocate, I don't know, maybe I'm not attracting people who would give, or just out of their, be extremely generous. So I just don't, I feel like, again, I'm on both sides, and I am just so interested to see what is going on, like, and to see how much my weight is going to affect this access, or affect dating more than anything. Again, like, I feel like I have had access in spaces just because of who I am as a person, and I also admit because of the way I look. Um, but we'll see. There's always going to be limitations, just as there are some spaces that are limited for people who look certain ways, and I can never look like them. And not that I'd ever want to be in those spaces, but the ones that I can, like, at least muscle my way in through, like, physically changing myself in a way that is not any way that I wouldn't want to change myself, because, like, I'm not doing nothing that I wouldn't want to do myself. But there's ways I can up my stats to be able to, have more XP in the game. I'm gonna do that. So, my test is going to be to not do anything. I'm not going to date. I'm not gonna go out of my way to talk to people. Right now, I am really focused on this, and I'm just gonna naturally see what happens. I'm gonna naturally see how things change, how people approach me. I will say, in the recent, like, weeks or two, when I'm like, again, I play co-ed soccer. I've had a few people come up to me, like, just to start talking, which I'm just like, that never really happened in spaces and groups. Like, I feel like it would be like we were all talking together, and it was just like, for the most part, I am taking up a lot of space and I am talking, but like, coming to off the side, I'm just like, okay, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? But again, like I had mentioned in one of my first video, or second, I was thinking the second or third day, it doesn't really lead anywhere. So I'm just curious. Maybe they shy. I don't know. Maybe the boys are shy. But yeah, um, curious to see. This is what I wanted to share. A longer video. Glad that I put stuff on my phone. And for anyone who's watched this late or this long, please leave a heart, just so I know who the real ones are. Um, and I will, like, make sure to make more content like this for you, and just share how I feel in my experience in life. So have a lovely day.